This is the first project video. And for our first project on YouTube, I think I know what I'm going to do. These shelves we just got so that way when we're streaming we can have a bunch of fun things in there. And I think it would be a lot of fun and really cool to put some LEDs in there. So what I've gotten so far is these like 90 degree aluminum profiles that you can put LED strips inside of, and then it diffuses them. I think I figured out exactly how I want to put the LED strips in each cubby, because they're going to be, I want to be able to change the color of every single cubby and do a lot of fun effects with it later on. So we've got the aluminum extrusion, we've got some wire to wire it up. We're still waiting on the LEDs and the power supply for it, but today I think I can walk you guys through cutting up the aluminum extrusion, so that way when we get the LED strips we can cut them and wire them up and put them in. And I'm excited. This is going to be fun. So it's a 4x4. We've got 16 cubbies. Later on they should all be filled, and so they're all going to get lights. But yeah, so I think that'll do it. Let's go to the garage and I can explain what we got to do today, because we need to get these aluminum profiles cut and we got to cut the diffusing panel on the front. And yeah, that took a bit to figure out what we're all going to cut them to. I'll go show you what we're going to do. Okay, so we made it to the garage. So I'm going to explain the cuts we need to do and how I'm going to set up the strips. So here you can see my perfect drawing of a cubby, and each side is 13.5 inches. And so what I'm going to do is do one strip across the top of the front of the top board, and then we're going to cut little ones for each side to go kind of into the cubby, so that way we can have not only lighting across the front, but also lighting across each side and into the cubby. So with that, we have these, and we need to figure out how to cut these. So let's get these open real quick and show you what they are, because honestly I've wanted to buy these for so long and they're a little expensive, I will be honest. Yeah, so I didn't do them for some other projects, but I think this is a perfect project for them. So we've got 10 of these things, and we'll pull one out for you. And they're pretty fun. So they're supposed to be on a 90 degree, and then they give the LED strip a 45 degree angle landing, and then you can see little troughs, hopefully, for the diffuser to slide into there. And so originally I was just going to do the top right and left corners, but I think we changed how we're going to do it. So they come with these diffusing panel on the top that just literally clips into those little troughs. So we need to cut, these are 39.5 inches long, and we need to figure out how we can most efficiently cut these to get the lengths we want, because we know we want at least about 13 inches across the front. And so what I've figured out last night, took me like an hour trying to go through all these different possibilities of how we're cutting it. So what we're going to do is 3 different cuts. You can see over here. So we're going to make 6 cuts of this. We're going to cut 1 like this and cut 4 like that. So the first 6 cuts are just going to be into 13 inches each, and that'll give us 15 of the front parts. The next one, we're going to get our last 16, because 4 times 4 is
16.
16. So this is the last 16 one, and then figured out that I could divide the rest of them into 5.5 inches, because we need 32 of those, because 16 times 2 is 32. So yeah, so we're going to do one cut where we get 113, and the rest are going to be 5.5. And then all of the last 4 are going to be cut into 5.5 inch sections. So then we'll have 16 13 inch and 32 5.5 inch. And we'll only have like about 8 inches of random waste on the end. It's going to be a bit of work. And we're probably going to like mask off every single cut and then use our new Milwaukee bench table saw to cut it. These, I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna cut them. I'm afraid that they're gonna like splinter and split, but we might have to do these by hand. We'll see. But hopefully with Sammy's help, we can get this knocked out. A little bit of a heart attack moment. So last night I went through like a few different iterations, and at one point I accidentally thought there was 11, not 10 of these strips. Anyways, so I was going through and I was counting them. I was like, okay, 2, 4, 6, 1 here, and then 4 here. And I was like, wait a second, there's only 3. Shoot, what did I do wrong? And I looked over here and I realized 6 plus 1 plus 4 is 11, not 10. So I went back to my notes, and yeah, I just wrote this down wrong. This is actually 5 cuts like that, 1 cut like that, and 4 like that. So no more panic, we're good. We have 10, they all work out. We're gonna get all the pieces we need.
And that's why you check before you start cutting.
Yes. So, good. All right, let's get to cutting.
All right, so that's all for today.
Yep, we are tired, and I think we're gonna go set up our Christmas tree. And Cora's antsy to get inside.
Yeah, she's ready to go. But we'll be back when we get the rest of the parts.
When we get some more parts that are coming in, which should be in like the next day or 2.
So we'll see you then.
Bye. Hello. It's day 2 of the project, of the cubby lighting project, whatever we're calling it. Cora's bone. So, we have got exciting stuff. We finally got in the LEDs, we've got in the wires, we got in the power supply. We're coming right along. Look at these things. So these are individually addressable. So right in there, you can see a little black spot inside of the LED. That's an entire processor running code. And yeah, that's pretty fun. So we've got our little setup here, and Sam's going to be doing the cutting. So we're going to do 2 different lengths, and just like the aluminum extrusion, we're going to need 13 of the long ones and 16 of the long ones and 32 of the small ones, and they come in this huge long reel. So Sammy's going to be cutting those, and then I am going to be cutting the correct wire lengths, because the way that we're going to do it, with this terrible one. So we have 1 strip across the top, and then we're going to have another one here on the side. And so I need to cut the wire to connect the sides with the front one. And so that's 1 on each side. So I need to do 32 wire lengths. And then I'm going to solder them together. So then at the end of this, we should have 13 lengths where it's short, long, and short, and be ready to start moving on to the programming step, which I'm pretty excited to show you guys about, because it's a little complicated, but it's going to be fun, and it's going to turn out really cool. So with that, I think we're going to set up a time lapse and get to cutting and soldering and making fun things.
Yes. Let's go.
Let's go. Hi. Hi. Sammy's out here cutting up a storm. So I got the first one soldered up, and hopefully you can see we've got ground, backup data, and then 12 volts. And so I just make sure that on each side, hopefully that's in focus. On each side, you just do the same. So I'm red, white, yellow, black. And then on this side, red, white, yellow, black. And then something else to note when you're doing these is that there's a little arrow telling you which way that the data is going to transfer, because they just like pass on the data. And so you just need to make sure the arrows are all going to be the same. So now that I've got the arrows going over here to that one, I need to put this strip with the arrows going that way into that one. And then we'll have our first strip done, but definitely think Sammy's going to beat me.
Yeah, I'm almost done with these ones.
Yep. But, oh, and then I'm going to look at putting some like heat shrink on each of these, but that heat shrink might be a little bit too big, so I got to go look at it and see what we have. All right, let's get back to work. All right, we're done. That took like
3 or 4 hours.
3
probably.
or 4 hours, and we're tired. But guys, look at this. Look at this beautiful, beautiful stuff. 16 strips. I tinned 256 wires, did 128 solder joints. Sammy shrink wrapped, amazing professional shrink wrap, 64 times, and it was quite the process. But look at this. They're done. They're ready. So I think next we're gonna get into the programming a bit. I still gotta solder or connect those up into the entire system and make the entire system. But it's a big step crossed off. That'll do it for this video. Tons of work, quite a bit of time lapse probably in this video, but we're gonna start making, or we've made pretty good progress. We're gonna continue to make good progress until this is ready. If you guys like this project, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow along, because more parts are going to be coming out and we're going to be getting this thing done. I'm super excited to see how it turns out. I think there's some really cool ideas that we can try and it's going to look awesome. So hope we catch you in the next one, and have a good day, and goodbye.
Bye!